Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Town, and today I have another horror movie review for you for the winter time. And I've decided that I'll be reviewing a very good horror film that I really enjoy called The Boy. The Boy. This movie was released in 2016. It is a horror film that was directed by William Brant Bell and that was written by Stacy Menier. And this film stars Lauren Cohan and Rupert Evans. Now, this movie is about this American woman named Greta Evans, who is going to be traveling abroad to the United Kingdom as she is going to be hired by the Hillshires, an elderly family, in order to be, she's going to be hired to be a nanny. And the rules there are quite simple. They have to take care of, their Brahms, who they call their son, right? But as a matter of fact, it turns out that Brahms is a doll. And at first, she doesn't really understand. She thinks that there's some kind of a party line, and, that's not really, real, that she's just being, made fun of, perhaps. But it turns out that they're quite serious, and that she has a set of rules to follow when it comes to this boy. And if she breaks them, she shouldn't break them under any circumstances, because that wouldn't be, good for her if she happened to. So, yeah, she's gonna take, at first, she doesn't really, believe in any of that. She thinks that it's just, some nonsense, that she's being, that was, that was pulled on her, in a way. But as the movie goes on, and the fact that she's gonna notice some, weird things happening, she's gonna become convinced that there might be more in that house than meet the eye. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then she's gonna meet Malcolm, who is the grocery boy of the Hillshires, this elderly family, the father, the husband and the wife. And he's basically just like an errand boy who goes, buys some groceries downtown and goes back to the house and delivers, right? So he and Greta are gonna be speaking a little bit about, this what's the background of such a story, such an event, right? About this doll thing, right? So she's gonna learn something pretty big. And also in this movie, we learned that, Greta is running away from an abusive, an abusive person. And what happens is that his name is Cole, and she doesn't want to be found by him, right? She's basically trying to stay under the radar, and that this might be a reason why she was so eager to get the job and leave the country, because there is some she has some I guess you could say skeletons in her closet. She has some past thing. But yeah, so she's talking to her friend at some point, I believe her best friend, and she's telling her not under any circumstances to let him know about where she is, because that could compromise her safety. So yeah, she's gonna make sure to tell her friend about this. But then it turns out that she's gonna have some pretty big trouble of her own in that huge looking house, Victorian style, as you can tell from the corridor in the movie poster. But yeah, this is The Boy, the 2016 film. I thought this movie was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I wanted to review it because I thought that this would be a good fit for the wintertime reviews of horror films. Especially the whole house is set in this I would say, this fog, it's a little foggy, it's like a Victorian style house, I would say. And yeah, it's here it says follow his rules this January, quote unquote. So I would say that this movie pretty much takes place around the same time of year, January. So now it's like February. So I thought to myself, it's good a time as any, especially with the whole cold kind of atmosphere that you have in this film. I would say that this is a great fit for the winter. But yeah, this was a pretty great horror film in my opinion. Lauren Cohan is who was in Supernatural, the TV show, and The Walking Dead, right? I don't really, follow The Walking Dead, but yeah, she was in it. So yeah, she's a pretty great in this movie. She gave a really great performance, and yeah, she plays an American, character, but her accent is really, really good, very convincing. It's a little funny, that she happens to be playing an American in England. Since she herself is an English actress. I thought that was a nice, pretty funny thing, but she was pretty good in it anyway. She was great in it, as a matter of fact, and yeah, she really plays well, and that was really good having her star in this. She's the main actress in this scary film, in this horror film. She's the lead, so I thought it was pretty great. Then we have Rupert Evans, who plays Malcolm, so pretty great as well. Really, really good. I haven't seen him in a lot of other things, but he was great in it, as a matter of fact, as Malcolm, and you can tell that he really cares about the safety of Greta, and he doesn't want her to get hurt. So I thought that was, that was a good thing about this film. Then we have Jim Norton as Mr. Hillshire, Diana Hardcastle as Mrs. Hillshire. Yeah, both of them are pretty great. And then there were other, actors and actresses. Ben Robson is in it. I won't tell you who he plays because I don't want to give away something important. But Ben Robson was pretty great as well. Yeah, not a good character, but his performance as an actor was pretty great. Then we have Stephanie Lemelin and Jet Klein. So all these actors and actresses, yeah, did a pretty awesome job. But especially, yeah, I would say Lauren Cohan and Rupert Evans, our two main ones, did a pretty awesome job. I really thought that this whole plot with the doll was pretty good, pretty scary, right? It kind of reminds me a little bit about these, I mean, I like Goosebumps, so the Night of the Living Dummy series with Slappy, it's a little bit similar, a little bit like Chucky too, but it's kind of its own movie set in England in a different place, in a different area. And yeah, I see here that Craig Darch Castle was the filming location for the movie called The Boy, right? And you can check it out. It's a pretty impressive looking, great looking house. And yeah, it says here that it was shot in Canada. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about this. Oh, nice. Yeah, it was shot in Canada, in case you were wondering. But yeah, it's Craig Darch Castle is in Canada, in Victoria, British Columbia. It says here. Okay, that's nice. I was just learned it right just a second ago. Yeah, in Canada, it's there are so many great locations and things like that to shoot a movie or a TV show, whatever the case may be. Yeah, but that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I kind of sensed that, felt that it had a British kind of feeling to it, but it was shot in Canada, just to clear up any misconception. Not that it's a big misconception, but some people would could assume differently. But yeah, that was a pretty great horror film. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the story. Really enjoyed the characters, and the way it develops and it progresses, and the tension builds up. And this boy, some one of the things that really got to me is the some of the clothes are going to start moving around, and it's going to be appear as if there might really be, within the movie itself, that at some point it seems that there might be some kind of a presence, and that Greta might not be alone, and that there either is an intruder in the house, you know or this could this doll thing be a real thing, or is it just some kind of an elaborate joke? Is it just or is the family going a little over the edge after having lost their son, right? There are many things that are gonna be featuring there, and the final twist where everything is revealed is pretty big indeed. It's pretty big. So yeah, I really enjoyed this whole movie, especially how it, the big twist and how it ends and so on and so forth. It was really pretty good, and it ends in some kind of a cliffhanger, which was pretty good too. I really enjoyed it, and there's a sequel to this movie. I would have to rewatch it before being able to review it, so it probably would take a while, God willing. But I would like to review the sequel because it was pretty great as well. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, especially with the roles that she has to follow. And Greta as character was pretty, likable. She's trying her level best not to, not to be, to try to be as good a caretaker as possible, but it's not gonna be very easy. Anyhow, yeah, really enjoyed this movie. If I were to rate this movie on a scale from 1 to 10 before I keep on rambling away, I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10, I believe. It was a pretty cool horror flick. Really enjoyed it. So I would definitely give it maybe, yeah, 8 out of 10, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure. 8 out of 10 sounds to be fitting the bill, I would say, right? Because it was a pretty good horror film. So I would give it 8 out of 10, and it was a really great performance from Lauren Cohan and that other actor. What was his name again? Rupert Evans, right? So I really enjoyed this film. So 8 out of 10 for me for The Boy. What about you, folks? What did you think about the movie The Boy? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would really like to hear about your thoughts and views on this film. In the meantime, folks, thank you for watching. Stay safe, goodbye, and take care. This is Horror Town for you, signing off.